Welcome to the Varsity Brews podcast, the live edition here from VS&R. And cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
What are we drinking here?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We went into the back of the fridge, and this is one of the test beers. Apparently, it's still at VSR Media since we're here. But we found a can of Love for Maui, and I'm telling you what.
I like to keep old relics around.
What do I have?
Is this
Double Primus?
No,
Slumdog Millionaire. What is this one?
Pipeworks?
You were drinking Ninja versus Unicorn.
Okay.
Yeah, by Pipeworks. Yeah, we endorse other breweries on this podcast, too. So I love this beer. I think I talked about once they had Zombie Dust versus Ninja versus Zombie Dust.
Ninja versus Zombie Dust. Welcome in. We've got 3 camera action going on. So if you're at home here, we've got a great show and some new swag up on varsitybrews.com. What up?
Do you accept PayPal and other payment options?
Sure. Cash or check?
Cash or check?
COD?
You might have a few,
Cash on delivery? Absolutely. Well, it's been a while since we've gotten together here. I know the holiday party was just an absolute disaster for you folks at home, and we apologize deeply. We're trying to get this thing figured out at the time. But on this podcast, we talk about 2 things predominantly. We talk about college football, NFL football in general, sports, and we talk about brews. Yeah. Because our good friend, our buddy here, sponsors our show. He's one of 2 sponsors. Sponsoring for another year is our buddy Gabe at Rustic Rocks.
Rustic Rocks, man. The guy does good work.
Thanks, man. Yeah, he allowed me to come in, get some video, and I'm telling you, the work he does, the boulders he moves. Check out his page because you'll see some of that video. I took some aerial shots.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, anything that he does turns to gold.
He's good with the rock.
Are you good with the rock?
Sure. Yeah.
Is Blake Corum good with the rock?
Heck yeah, he is, baby. What'd I tell you?
Well, we're going to be talking about
2
that
touchdowns every game.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I'm loaded with info.
See, his Facebook page was loaded with FU-isms to you and me. Oh, wait, turn your YouTube off. He's following along live. Did I just say FU right now?
Probably.
I'm still
So he's going to be roasting us for the next hour about some of the picks that we made.
And we're just going to have to take it. Yeah.
So basically the skinny is Michigan versus Washington in the national championship game. We'll talk about picks, who we picked, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to talk about some of the rare brews that we have, including Love for Maui.
Can't believe it.
That came out, more than 6 months ago at this point.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
And then
really that long ago?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's drinking perfect. I'm like,
it was summertime.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was definitely summertime.
Yeah.
And then we've got 2 rare items here.
Yeah, where's that from?
So I just got back from Scotland with my wife and my stepson, and it was absolutely a phenomenal time. Went to the same Scotch tasting that you went to by Edinburgh Castle.
I love it. That Edinburgh Castle is amazing.
It's a phenomenal
If you're ever
place.
going to Scotland, go to Edinburgh Castle.
How does that smell?
Good.
Good?
It's warming up.
Show that on cam here if you would. It's called a Nuck. The C is silent. A Nuck. A Nook. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then I'll hold that one up.
Oh,
here's the what do you call this? Like the packaging? I don't know. Here's the packaging.
Yeah,
it
you've got
comes
a nice
in.
package.
I get that a lot. It's aged 18 years. I'm not going anywhere on that comment, gentlemen. And then what do you have, buddy?
Oh, man, I brought this really cool. This is the newest release from Iron Shoe Distillery, and so we're going to sample this. This is actually people have been bugging me for when is the next BBA coming out for Westwind, and who knows, we might release it earlier in Christmas time of next year, but Howard, our buddy up there in Niles, Michigan, who owns Iron Shoe, I called him and said, hey, I need a barrel. You got any bourbon barrels? And he goes, yeah, dude, what are you doing? And I said, I've got a marshmallow stout that is really good, Mr. Fluffles that everybody loved, that went back and brewed. And I said, I need a barrel fast. And so Howard bequeathed to me via some cash that I was able to buy one of these pre-release, I think, even too. Like these are just coming hot off the press. So I have one of the original bottles. So we're gonna sample what we're going to be barrel aging one of our beers in for next Christmas time. So.
We already got a comment. Flash City says, if you want to, I guess we can. Dash Evan. Did you say
Flash City.
Do you know?
That's
Flash City?
mayhem.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. What's up, Flash City? Thanks for watching, and thanks for bringing that, buddy. We're
Heck
really
man.
excited
Yeah,
for
we got
it.
some good drinks to try.
All right, before we get to anything else, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. It's on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe on Spotify, Apple TV, YouTube, whatever. We out here, and we're doing this thing, but we need your help. So if you go online, this is a shameless plug, by the way. Varsity Brews.
Sweet, though, man.
Show them the hat here, buddy. Yeah. Nice little 49er on it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. You can pick it up on our web store, which I'll soon put up. It's not up yet, but if you go there at the end of the evening, we got some stickers too.
Oh, don't forget the sticks, man. The stickers are a big thing.
Oh, show the back of your shirt too,
Yeah.
buddy.
All right.
Show the back of your
Can I
shirt.
stand up?
Kneel down a little bit. It says we make our own rules. I guess he could have held up the sticker, buddy. Sorry about that.
Doing calisthenics over here.
As they call it in Scotland, the arse. Well, welcome to this edition of the Varsity Brews podcast. We're going to get going and talk about the national championship game while enjoying some of our brews here. This is not sponsored by Panera or ESPN. We just happen to be catching the hockey game. I know your wife's a big hockey fan, or not really? Not really.
She likes hockey.
Does she?
Yeah.
She just had something on social media
I love hockey.
about
hockey?
the Stanley Cup.
That like Stanley Cups.
Oh,
Like the craze.
Yeah, they're all at Target
Yeah.
trying to get the
Damn.
Stanleys. That's the wrong.
Damn.
That's the wrong Stanley.
Damn.
Cup.
Although
sorry,
there
I'm
are
sorry,
memes
Julie.
going on about that where it's,
I feel like
Women
the
are-
Pop-Tart guy right now.
women are starting to train
You're-
for hockey
you're dead.
because they learned that they can win a Stanley Cup.
Wow. Jeez.
Julie's post was more about it was drinking out of a water hose.
Got it.
Versus
Better
drinking
than
out of a
those
Stanley
Stanley
Cup.
Cups.
She a hockey
This is
fan.
my sports brain failing me again. I'm sorry, Julie.
But yeah, she does
gonna
like
call
hockey.
me out. She's going to call me out here shortly. It's okay. I deserve that one. Stanley Cups,
Yeah,
not the
cups.
Stanley Cup. I'm like, what does that garden hose have anything to do with the Stanley Cup?
Which their story's crazy because it's mainly for men that worked.
Absolutely. They used to
And-
create those thermoses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then I guess their videos went viral with some gal who blogged like in, I think it was like 2019. They were doing 75 million in sales, so they completely pivoted, changed the colors that they offer, and now they're doing 750 million in sales.
That's amazing. Like
My daughter
700
has like 5 of them. It's stupid.
Yeah, we've got a lot
But
hanging around
brilliant.
the house.
Julie said, it's fine. Let me fix that for you. I'm sorry. Hey, I have Julie on the wall over
She's
here,
here. She's here.
right behind you. That's crazy, the story of that company.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's also crazy, the story of Washington. They continue to be the underdog. Let's talk about the Washington-Texas game first, and then we could dive into Michigan.
I had this question posed to me today by a friend.
Okay.
Is Michael Penix the best quarterback in college football this year?
I've been thinking about
Wow, that's a loaded.
that. I'm going to answer here right away,
Yeah.
if you don't
Wow.
mind.
Go for
Okay.
it.
I'm going to look into the camera and do it. Yes, he is, and he is better than a certain USC quarterback and should be drafted higher than that USC quarterback. That's how I feel about it. If you can win in pressure moments, gentlemen, pressure moments, Caleb Williams, after winning the Heisman, there was no pressure on him last year. None. He came out of the woodwork. All eyes were on him this year,
Yep, fair.
and they lost what?
Folded.
5 games?
5 games, yeah.
I don't know if I would call this Notre Dame defense elite, but he certainly got his butt kicked by Xavier Watson and company and by Utah 3 times
And really
during
didn't
his career.
recover after that.
No. And so my question is, Michael Penix has been doing it against elite defenses now, right?
He also does have a great supporting cast.
He does.
Not to say that USC doesn't.
But that deep throw, man, is on target,
Mm.
and it is special.
He's very accurate.
When you can win when everything is on the line, I give him props for that.
I thought
And I
very,
think he should be looked at as the top QB in this draft.
He's
in
got
a-
3 stud receivers though too.
Hey,
like
in a very weak quarterback draft class.
Ooh,
Very weak.
talk more about that.
I saw an interesting stat.
Mhm.
if you look at the age of all the quarterbacks that are coming out this year, they all had opportunities to get drafted a year ago or 2 years ago. But those draft classes really they had one or two guys that were known commodities that were probably going to be drafted in the first round.
Okay.
Okay. So they waited. I'm telling you, like
You think waiting is the
20,
key?
22, 23 years old, there's only a year or two separation. Some of these guys, I mean, it's in, well, the meme that you sent. I mean, we got guys in college for 7 years now.
7
Well,
years.
what do you think about
Doctors.
Alan Bowman from Oklahoma State, year 7.
what do you think about Penix? What do you think I just said about Penix? How does that resonate?
I'm very curious. So I thought about it. It was when it was kind of sprung on me, right? So I'm having a work conversation, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, I'm going to throw this one out there. Is Michael Penix the best quarterback in college football this year?" And I was like, "No one's asked me that."
Yeah.
And I ended up kind of like talking myself all the way through it, and I was like, "Yeah, you could make a very solid argument that he was the best quarterback in college football this year." Based on it was, and I kind of brought up, it was like, I don't know if it was because Washington's on the West Coast and there wasn't a lot of publicity, and it just kind of always felt like you're like, there's no way Washington's going to win again, right? And then they won again, and then they won again, and he consistently played well,
Beating Oregon twice.
all right,
Beating Utah, who was good to start the season.
And I
was a
don't
good
think
team.
too many people in the United States thought they were going to be Texas.
I certainly did
Aaron,
not.
I know Aaron.
Aaron did.
I call
We called Texas by at least 2 scores.
That's what I thought, right? I mean, the way that they're playing, the way that Quinn Ewers was playing.
But maybe does that show is Alabama not as good as we thought Alabama was going to be or was, buddy?
I think that
You just want me to give you your flowers about Alabama. I will. Don't worry, I will.
So, I mean, I guess why I'm saying he is, or at least he's in the top 3, and I say that it's a weak draft class. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm overstating that a little bit, but I think that there is a grouping that's kind of all close together.
Yeah.
There isn't someone
Who's
and the example I use is like, there isn't a Cam Newton who, when he led Auburn to a national championship 14-0, and I saw a crazy stat on that. There was only one other guy on that team that got drafted that year. Did you know that?
no.
His stats were nuts. Threw for 30, ran for 20, something like that. It was unbelievable. So anyhow, I just think that overall, all these quarterbacks that are coming out this year, I think it's a grouping close together.
Yeah.
But his body of work, number of wins, and obviously going to the national championship, there's a solid argument that he's been the best
argue
one.
with that. You can't argue with that. I don't know if I want this conversation to turn into necessarily a hating conversation against, what's his name from USC?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
He wasn't even on my radar.
No, he's. I don't know. I just think that Caleb Williams has a lot of potential, but to me, the most polished quarterback right now in college football, no, is not Kyle McCord, who just went to Syracuse.
So weird.
Yeah, that is a strange.
Well, he admitted it. They paid him a bag. He admitted it, that they had the best offer, which now is.
I hate that so much.
Hey,
I know.
That's what it's turning into. That's what it is.
Cash.
To me, the most bang for my buck here, and he's not as mobile, but he can certainly roll out of the pocket, is Michael Penix. I mean, what that guy had to endure the last couple of seasons and what he came back from, that's a testament to him.
So can I offer this
That's a
question to you?
lingering question, though, at the next level.
Injuries?
Evan's saying it's
That's a good
maybe
point.
a little bit softer QB. Chicago Bears. You have the first-round pick.
Do not pick him.
Do you take Penix?
No, absolutely not.
And I don't take,
I'm just
what's his
throwing it-
name? I don't take Caleb Williams either.
Why would the Bears draft a quarterback?
They have one, and he's good.
I agree. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying.
You know how
I'm
you know
on
how
record
for
saying he is good.
you know
I like
how for
Fields.
years we always would say the Lions are lionsing. Is that even a word? Right. The
Sorry, buddy.
Bears are bearsing if
Take a
they
wide
draft
receiver.
if they draft a quarterback. Why are the Lions in the position that they are right now? It's because they stopped drafting skill position players,
That's fair.
right? And what did they do? They built from the offensive and defensive line, and then traded for or got some late round draft picks at some of the skill positions.
Yep.
Because running backs potentially can be a dime a dozen with how long they last in the NFL.
Right.
So that question, no, there is not a franchise quarterback in this draft class.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
That was
There's
a
not.
loaded answer.
All right.
Do you think Penix will translate to the NFL? I think if he gets in the right system.
You know who he reminds me of? RG3.
A little bit. Yeah, I could see
I
that.
think he's better.
You think he's better than? I mean,
I think he's
R-
got. I think
RG3 had a massive arm.
He's got a good arm, though. Penix's got a good arm. He's got a good deep ball.
He does. I mean, listen. I think the quarterback of the future in the NFL. Sue me here. I'm a Packers fan. Everybody knows this. I think Justin Fields is the future of the NFL. I like him a lot.
Wow.
They need to get him the pieces,
gotta have him.
including a coach. I just don't know if Eberflus, is that his name?
Hey,
Van Ander Eberflus
if
or whatever?
Justin Fields was on the Lions,
Oh, man.
They would, dude.
We would win the Super Bowl.
This is, but I've been calling this.
Yeah, we're a quarterback away. Golf is inconsistent.
yeah,
Hey,
But who are they
hey,
draft? Who are they get? Bridgewater's not the guy. I'm sorry.
Teddy's done
No.
after this year. He's announcing it. He has already announced he's done after this
that
season.
was still a good pickup.
It was a good pickup because if something
And-
did happen to
and
Goff,
and
then you
Goff,
got a
and
seasoned
Goff
guy.
too.
yeah, you got a seasoned guy.
Goff's not a bad quarterback, but Fields would elevate that offense.
What in what world? No, I'm putting out maybe a dream option for Lions fans. In what world do the Lions draft up and snag Justin or trade?
Trade for Penix?
No,
Oh.
and trade and get Justin Fields within the division. You think that ever happens?
Wow.
The Bears would be Bearsing for sure.
But I mean, what
I'll
the
sign up.
Lions would have to give up
Oh.
would be too much, I think. Right? I mean, you're not giving up Hutchinson.
You're saying they'd have to give up players,
Yeah,
give up picks.
I think you'd give up future picks. Yeah, that would be fun.
I don't know, buddy.
The Bears are going to have to rebuild, buddy. The Bears are kind of where the line, in my opinion,
I mean, you have an all-star wide receiver in Cole Kmet. You have some good pieces on defense. And I think you have a great quarterback that can lead you into the future. You don't have a run game. You don't have a game plan, right? I mean, like, what is the identity of the Bears? You don't have an identity.
Yeah, their total offense is Cole Kmet.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Go across the middle, pick up Yak, and then be done with it. That's their entire offense. Or Justin Fields just run for your life, which has been basically what it's been.
and that doesn't work.
All right, let's go back to this situation here from the Washington Huskies beating the Texans.
If we go back 2 podcasts,
I'm sorry.
The Longhorn.
the Longhorns.
I was thinking about the Texans. The new Browns is what Flash City said. The new Browns.
Oh.
Hey, the Browns
Yeah.
are the old Browns, baby. Joe Flacco bringing it back. Run it back,
love that
Jay
so
Flack.
much.
You love Joe Flacco?
I just like that storyline. It's awesome.
He wins, though.
He
How
does.
old is he?
Wherever he goes,
he's like,
he wins.
He's like 40 years old.
Wherever,
He's close to.
wherever he goes, he wins, though.
His kids, he's got 4 kids. They're like in
He's-
high school.
I think he's a year or two older than me. He's probably 38, 39.
Jeez. He does win.
He wins.
He does win. He
You
does win.
Get in the right system.
So the Washington Huskies beat the Texas Longhorns, and it wasn't particularly close. It came down to the last drive. It wasn't particularly close. What did Washington show you? Let's go with this question first. What did Washington show you that leads you to believe they can win a championship and they can upset Michigan?
Am I going first?
You can.
Okay. So I've been talking about Washington, how I felt Washington in the top 5, top 6 teams was one of the most balanced teams, both offensively and defensively. If you look at what they've done, they got Penix at quarterback. They have 3 absolute stud receivers, and they have a good defense. I mean, obviously they've come out of nowhere. Texas, on the other hand, great offense. That was their game plan. As I looked at it and watched the games play out the way that they played out, for me personally, I called it 2 podcasts ago, maybe 1. But I've been saying Washington. I think Washington's better than what everybody thinks that they are, and I think that came up with Texas. Texas is a good team, and obviously you've got now a number 1 undefeated 14-0 Michigan versus a number 2 14-0 Washington team. This is going to be a banger of a freaking national championship. Let's call it what it is. But I'm telling you, I think
It's certainly not going to be TCU and Georgia.
yeah. And here's what I'll tell you: from a running game, I believe Michigan's running game is better than Washington's. But where we're going to struggle is our defense is going to have to do exactly what we did to Bama. It's going to be challenged more because Penix is going to throw the ball.
Washington has a better offense.
They have a better offense.
This will be the best offense
tough to
that
say.
Michigan has seen all year.
I 100% agree with that comment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Offensive line played really well against Texas.
Yeah, so I mean, I think and Aaron touched on some of these points. Is they've just been very consistent, and they've also battled through adversity too. They've seen adversity. There's been some tough moments throughout the season where they bounce back. Won a couple of close games that probably could have gone either way. But you're right, very balanced, right? I think the offense outshines the defense a little bit,
For sure.
And that isn't to
100%.
say that they have a poor defense, but the reputation of the Pac-10 and Pac-10, 12,
The Pac-12 used to be the Pac-12.
Pac-0 at this point,
Pac-2.
and the Big 12.
Pack it up.
Right, is usually high-powered off.
Not going to matter anymore because they're packing it up. Not in a job. It's not going to matter because you're not working here anymore.
He gone.
Is usually high-powered offenses and very little defense, right?
Right.
And so I think that the offense still clearly outshines what the defense does. But you're right. It was for almost half the year into it, 2 or 3 guys averaging over 100 yards receiving. So I think that that's really what it's going to come down to in this national championship game is going to be the Michigan defense against this Washington offense.
What do you think about, and I heard this in commentary earlier today, if Washington can get a pass rush together, does that affect this game? If Michigan gets a pass rush together, if Michigan can affect the way, because Penix wasn't hurried, he wasn't sacked, he wasn't anything against the Texas Longhorns. I think that's going to be the biggest key to this game. Can Michigan's defense put pressure on Michael Penix to get him to hurry up in the pocket?
I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. I think that part is correct. If Michigan can pressure Penix, it will change the outcome of the game. If Washington can control Blake Corum in the running game, I think that changes it for Washington.
Don't you think that Michigan wants to slow the game down? Don't you think they want to
100%. They want to hold the ball, run the ball as long as
play
they
Big Ten football?
Play Big Ten football.
That's been their identity all year.
I formation, baby. Run the football. Seriously.
So they're going to put an extra man in the box. Then what do you do? Put it in JJ's hands?
Well, no.
That's what I would do.
No, I'm saying here's what Michigan is going to do. Even if Washington puts an extra guy in the box, they are still going to run the football until Washington consistently stops Michigan from running.
And you think Michigan's offensive line is that much better than
I'm just saying
Washington's D-line.
that is where if Michigan does what they've done all year
Yep.
and they did to Alabama is win the line of scrimmage offensively
100%.
and they run the football. Because I was surprised.
So this is interesting. We're basically saying either this is going to be a close Michigan win, or it's going to get out of hand and Michael Penix is going to throw for 500 yards.
That makes me a little bit nervous. I'll say that.
Aaron, I think if it gets into the mid-30s,
Michigan loses.
that's difficult for Michigan.
Yeah, it's going to be
Unless
We're not a high caliber offensive team. We know that.
well,
They're balanced.
haven't really
We're balanced. No, but we're not a
come from behind.
We're not a
team.
score 40 or
Correct.
50 points, come from behind team.
When is the last time they came from behind to win this season? Have they done it all season? I don't think so.
No.
It's been Evans 30-3, 35-3.
Yeah. Evans 30 points plus.
Right. I don't think this season they've come from behind to win a game.
Well, and the games that were, they were all close too. The spreads in some of the games that it was either they were in control 30-3, or it was they ended up winning. But you always had that feel, and even in the Alabama game, I had the score right, wrong team,
Right.
but I wasn't surprised. But Michigan just did what they had done the whole year, and it was consistently win on the offensive and defensive line and wear you out for 4 quarters.
They pushed Alabama around.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, they did. 5 sacks in the first freaking half.
Man.
Hey, that's impressive. We're
It
talking
is.
about Bama.
It is.
I don't care. We're talking about Bama. To get 5 sacks against a
Is
team
this an
that-
all-time top 10 team, in your opinion? All-time college football?
Michigan?
Yeah.
I'll let Evan go.
So you're throwing out there like a Vince Young Texas team. or-
Absolutely.
No,
Wow.
they're not.
Are they a top 20?
Yeah.
Top 20 all-time team.
They bore you to death by just being physical.
And then at the right moment, play
so-
action, Roman
hey,
Wilson
Roman-
goes
hey,
on.
yeah.
And honestly, Vahid, then that can skew how I think we rank them because they don't have a Vince
No.
Young.
Yeah.
They have a lot of dudes
yeah, they
that
have a
are
lot of
all
big,
that are all dudes,
big
right?
dudes
Yeah.
that drink a lot of milk and will push you and shove
But,
you around.
you know,
But isn't that calling coaching up? Isn't that what Michigan does? They take ordinary guys that have talent, 3, 4, maybe 4.5, 5-star caliber guys, and they've been coached up
I wanna
by Harbaugh.
I want to touch on that. In here in
We're
just a
not
little bit.
Alabama where they pay their players, right?
No, stop.
Hold on, hear me out.
Saban is the best at developing players all time.
Well, didn't Harbaugh do that this year?
He did too. I'm giving both of them credit.
Right.
Has nothing to do with paying them. They all get paid at this point.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. But I mean, you
The
look
underwear is sponsored at this point, okay, buddy?
They got
probably
meat contracts, cottage cheese contracts.
Meat contracts.
carnivore.
I don't know
diet.
about J.J. McCarthy's meat contract, okay?
Gosh.
He was doing quite well against Nebraska on the sideline.
I am curious though to get Aaron's feedback on Harbaugh saying that J.J. McCarthy is the best
cannot-
Michigan
yeah.
quarterback ever.
No.
And he gave props. He's like, Tom did his thing once he got to the NFL.
Tom came back and actually came
So,
into that
yeah.
conversation.
But- yeah, he did.
And gave Harbaugh a little pat on the back.
So
saying,
can I just say one thing about that, about what you're just saying? The reason that I haven't picked, and I've realized, I sat in bed the other day, and I'm like, gosh, I've been hard on Michigan this year. I've picked against
You have
Mich-
been hard. I think you've picked every time against them.
I think I've picked.
I only picked against
So-
them this one last week. And,
so-
and that's because my rule is I'll never pick against
So-
Saban in the playoffs.
Well, so here, you're right. I mean, Saban in the playoffs is hard
Yeah.
to beat. Here's my thought process. This is the reason, Aaron, that I've picked against Michigan.
Good. Let's hear it.
Is because of J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. makes mistakes in certain situations that makes me nervous as a fan watching Michigan play football. He is careless with the ball in certain situations.
Like in the first 7 seconds of the game.
Well, no, I just think he's careless with the football sometimes. He throws it across his body, the middle of the field. He did it against Ohio State a couple times. He did it again in the Big Ten Championship against Iowa a couple times when we were texting back and forth. I just think JJ he's a good quarterback. He's not polished yet. And I think if they can get a pass rush on him, that's what makes me nervous. Putting it in his arms. Now, I'll give his flowers and give you too. When the cards were stacked and he had to go down and get a game-winning drive and a score with 2 minutes to go in the game, he delivered.
Got it done.
He delivered.
That first pick in the first 7 seconds where every Michigan fan was about gulping, going, here we go.
But I do not think he's an all-time Michigan quarterback. I think Brian Greasy was better. Or what's his name? Greasy. Yeah. That's my piece.
Todd Collins, Scott
Yeah.
Dreisbach, who else?
Tom Brady.
Hey, Scott Dreisbach.
Tom Brady was a better quarterback.
Local Penn.
Tom
kid.
Brady was a better quarterback?
Well, he was like
In
a
college?
third stringer in college, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean it was him and Drew Henson.
Hey, do you know the last time that Michigan beat Alabama was when Brady was the quarterback?
Yeah.
That was a cool statistic.
So what do you think?
What do you want me to?
What do you think about McCarthy?
I think he's a really good quarterback. I think as long as he stays within his role of how this team operates,
Which is what?
don't lose the game.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
So,
Well,
and hey, I'm not gonna, and I won't do disservice to McCarthy or Purdy, because if you watch what they do with the football,
Yeah.
when you throw in rhythm, you're not pressured.
Yeah.
They're both great throwing quarterbacks. They run the operation of that offense the way that they're supposed to.
Mm.
And the identity of this Michigan football, though, has nothing to do with J.J. McCarthy. It has everything to do with establishing the run.
Yeah, it's
Blake Corum.
It's Blake Corum. I think we've been saying
And
that.
it is. And so I guess what you're saying is your concern is if this game if it falls fully on McCarthy's shoulders.
Like, don't try and play toe-to-toe with Washington and air it out every down.
They don't need to.
They don't need to.
If it gets to that, I think that it just we don't have a body of work yet
Right.
with McCarthy where he's not doing what Michael Penix is doing. It's two totally different things. Where the Washington offense is going to live and die on how accurate and consistent Michael Penix is.
Yeah.
The Michigan offense, they can still win this football game if McCarthy is
Not throwing a ball in the second
I'm
half.
saying 8 for 12. Yeah.
Well, don't you think we did that though in the
unless-
Rose Bowl game?
unless
he-
I mean, we kind of did that. He didn't have a great game. How he ended up being MVP?
Unless he turns it over. Unless he turns it over.
Yes.
Unless he turns it over. So Michigan's game is playing in front.
Run the football.
Run the football.
All right.
Until they stop you.
And I will give kudos here where flowers are due. I have picked against Michigan basically every time out this year.
Do I get the chain for picking?
You do, actually. Did you get the chain?
games?
Yeah, it's in the car. I will give you the chain because you got both picks right.
So
It was impressive.
it was impressive, and honestly, I'm not even going to go down this rabbit hole of play calling and blah blah blah. And
Oh,
whatever.
that's stupid.
that's
It was
all they're
I'm
talking about.
not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Here's what I'll ask you though.
Okay.
We're not going to make our picks just yet. Okay, we're going to save that to the end. I've been thinking about this question all day, but I wanted to pose it to you guys first. Does Jim Harbaugh go to the NFL with a win or a loss on Monday night? Is Monday night his last game as head coach of the Michigan Wolverines?
What's your intel saying? 'Cause
So Nick Saban was on the McAfee show today, and he says Harbaugh is gone.
What? I didn't see
there's
that.
a lot of signs pointing
There's a
to
lot
it.
of signs.
Well,
the
he's
agent
going to be in
he's-
trouble.
The agent, no.
Yeah, he hired
no,
Don.
he
Hired Don.
Yeah.
Don Yee, who is
Don Yee.
who's he's Sean Payton's and he is Tom,
Agent?
Tom Brady's agent. Okay,
And this is a recent
this
development.
is a
It
recent
is.
development.
He
Ad-
has not signed his contract.
He's not signed his contract. He's got a $150 million contract sitting in Michigan right there, waiting for him. Adam Schefter came on and he was like the happy face, kind of telling the narrative. If you watch a post-conference interview with Jim Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy sitting right there, and the question somebody posed it after the game and said, "Jim, congratulations. We just want to know, are you going to the NFL? Is there a chance?" And he looked at J.J. McCarthy, and they laughed like they were two kids in a candy store here at the Wakarusa Dime store in Granger, laughing when he kind of is like, we're just not going to talk about that right now. He totally blew it off. So to me,
It also doesn't matter really because a coach. I mean, it's happened all the time.
Yeah.
I love where I am, and then
So you
a
think
week later.
your gut feeling is you think this is his last game?
here's what I'll tell you. Every year since Harbaugh's been there, even including the first year he's at Michigan, I think
It came up.
It's been up every year, so
Every-
it's not like it's a new thing.
He was in the NFL and led a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
I'm going to tell you what's going
Nick
to
Saban never did that.
Okay, I'll save my prediction for my last statement of what I think is really going to happen. I don't think that Harbaugh, and it's been hard to say that, but I got to wait for my answer to it in the end. Harbaugh is lined up that if the right opportunity comes, I could see him leaving. That's what I'll say. But I still could see him staying. And
I just hope he walks out and everybody thinks he's announcing and he's wearing a Michigan versus everybody shirt.
did you wear your
Gotcha.
hat? Hey, did you wear your hat on game day?
No,
JJ's
Russ can't
what, a
find
junior?
it.
JJ's a junior. JJ's got one more year. Is he staying?
Now he goes to the NFL, takes JJ with him. It's like
Hey.
any given Sunday type
So
scenario.
if he can declare this year, yeah.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
Yep. And how many teams are looking for a new head coach? A ton.
He projects well though.
What do you think? You think he's gone?
It just seems like the signs are pointing to that more and more.
Yeah.
But like Aaron said, I mean, that's been rumors every year. So it's like,
I think this year's a little different because of what's happened.
yeah, I think that probably plays into it. I'd be frustrated with the NCAA, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Hell yeah! I mean,
he missed 6 games.
Plus, the rumor is he could miss more games next year.
And not to mention too, I mean, just the changing landscape with NIL and transfer portal and all that. That I'm telling you, that is going to weigh on the current group of coaches. Where you could, I'm not going to say there's a max exodus, but not every older coach is going to be like, okay, I'm on board for transfer portal and NIL. They're going to be like, all right, I'm out. And you're going to have young coaches like Marcus Freeman who are going to be able to, vibe with the players differently and do, in my opinion, stupid videos and market it.
Well, he's got 150 million reasons to come back to Ann Arbor. That's
Absolutely.
a lot of dough in a dough-filled era.
And it's his school too. I mean,
it is. So, in my opinion, let's break down quickly. What are the jobs that he could leave Michigan for? If you're looking at the NFL, the Raiders' job is open, but I think they're sticking with Antonio Pierce. I think he's done a good job. He might warrant the head coach. San Diego Chargers. Yep. He's not going to San Diego. But you have Justin Herbert there.
He has ties there. And in some of his...
he used to be a quarterback there.
And in some of his interviews...
I have that jersey.
What, the Harbaugh jersey?
I had a Chargers Harbaugh jersey.
In some of his interviews...
I guess he has a good situation.
He's brought up Herbert.
Has he really?
Yeah, in some of his interviews. That's another thing.
That would be really the only job I could see him leaving for then. What else? I mean, I don't really see him... What situation is better than Michigan?
Alabama.
He's not going to Alabama.
Oh.
He's throwing daggers.
So, okay. Now let's go down another rabbit hole. Let's say he leaves.
Who are they going to hire?
BK, have it your way. That's the rumor.
No way.
No. I mean, the rumor is that BK is not a great fit in LSU.
Is he a great fit anywhere?
He's got ties to Michigan. Paul Finbaum of the SEC.
Paul Feinbaum.
Finbaum says that come Monday, Jim Harbaugh is gone. You want to do your interpretation? You got an interpretation of it?
No.
Oh.
I'm not a big Paul Feinbaum.
He reminds me of the little...
Finbaum.
Space Jam. He reminds me of the little aliens before they turn.
Listen, I never played college football, and I'll admit it, but this dude never played a down of, grade school flag football, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Two teams.
I'm not trying to be like Cat Williams here on the Shannon Sharp podcast trying to, disintegrate anybody and everybody. I'm just saying.
Two teams that I've heard that could go to Raiders and Chargers. I'm not sure where else. I mean, but hey, last year was the Vikings.
He's
right?
got a quarterback in San Diego.
He traveled up to Minnesota and went and did that interview last. He was on a jet.
Minnesota's not a good job.
Well, but I'm just telling you, there's an option there. I think Adam Schefter had it correct when he said, if the situation is correct, the NFL wants Harbaugh. Why? Because he's proven when he was at San Francisco that it can be done. His system of process of developing people
with an all-world quarterback.
Well, put Harbaugh.
Colin Kaepernick. He was the quarterback, right?
He was. Yeah, that year.
I'm just saying, you have Justin Herbert maybe to go to Oakland and develop a quarterback in a non-quarterback year. They have no options there.
You know the other third team I heard? Jacksonville.
That'd be enticing, though.
It is. That whole thing down there, it needs the whole lid flipped.
I don't know about that.
Their owner's a nut job. He's had a lot. You didn't see that thing where he threw the cup on
That's the Panthers.
Panthers. Sorry.
Oh,
he got fined $300K.
Yeah. The owner.
I might be.
I said Jacksonville. But I meant Panthers.
I might be
Oh,
the
so
odd person
you
out here.
Panthers. Yeah.
I meant Panthers. Yeah.
Bryce Young.
I flipped my color.
Sorry, yeah,
I
Bryce
might be
Young.
the odd person
Bryce
in
Young.
here, but I don't think Bryce Young is a franchise quarterback.
You don't?
No, I don't think Bryce Young is a franchise quarterback. And I think he's a little too small for the league.
Do you think any of the quarterbacks in this draft class are better than Bryce Young?
That's a fully loaded question.
The answer is no. There is
Really?
not.
Well, they gave away the farm to go get him.
No.
Didn't they? They gave a bunch of draft picks to go up and get him.
When I look at Bryce Young, I think he's a good quarterback.
I do
don't think
too.
he's like all world though.
But you take him and you put him on the Chiefs, or you put him on the Dolphins.
And I don't think they're a playoff team.
I'm saying, or you put him on, or you put him on the Dolphins.
They're not a playoff team.
I disagree.
You think he's better than Tua?
I think he's as good.
No way. Mm-mm.
Hey, how good was Tua before McDaniels got there?
Pretty damn
and he
good.
And he got what?
Well, before McDaniel got there, he was
said-
fine.
And they added Tyree.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they added
They gave
Waddle.
Him, they gave Tua some weapons. Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna make
So
it
you
after
think
2
Tua
years.
is better? Or is you think
I
you think he's better than Tua?
Here's how I look. Here's how I look at these guys. Okay, you're also a product of the system and the
100%.
organization
That's
that
fair.
you are. in.
100%.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I also what I would also say though too is like, and I'm not trying to bang on your Packers at all either. I don't think he'd go anywhere and win anywhere.
Who? Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Buddy, look at my face.
Okay.
I think Jordan Love and the Packers are going to lose this weekend. That's how much confidence I have in Jordan Love.
Here's what I would say. Back to Bryce Young. He is not tier 1. But I think he could be a very good quarterback and win 8 to 9 games, 10 games.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence is tier 1?
Can he win a Super Bowl?
Not with the Panthers.
Wow.
Do you think Justin Fields can win a Super Bowl with the
So
Bears?
No.
Do you think Justin Fields can win a Super Bowl with the Lions?
yes.
Do you
Yeah.
think Bryce Young
Yes.
could win a Super Bowl with the Lions?
Yes.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying.
Golfers- Yeah.
Or put,
Wow, yeah,
or put Bryce Young on the 49ers.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
so here-
hold on.
here's-
I don't.
That would be loaded.
Hold on.
I'm a big Brock Purdy guy. I love Brock Purdy.
too.
I love Brock Purdy. Some of the throws that Brock Purdy makes, I don't think.
I think the 49ers
that-
can win a
that
Super Bowl
Bryce-
with Brock Purdy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they would win the Super Bowl with Bryce Young, though.
You don't
I
think
think
they go as
Bryce
far?
Young can't make some of the throws, the disciplined throws that Brock Purdy can make and has
Right
made.
now, that's probably true.
I just don't see it. I don't see Bryce Young being a top 15 quarterback in the league. Like, if Colin Kaepernick came back, I would take him over Bryce Young.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Pour me the whiskey.
Yeah, there's a grenade.
The whole bottle.
We just lost a viewer.
Somebody just tried.
Well,
I'm better than Kaepernick right now.
Yeah, I've always said you're better.
Hey, you know-
we're not asking that
you know my-
question.
you know my-
I know you're a top 15 player. like-
You know my Kaepernick story though. So we played Nevada when I was at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I think it was my 5th year. So like it was just to get. It was just to get school.
Not a heavy pour for me, buddy.
It was just to get school
'Cause I want to try that one.
paid for. I'm running the scout
Just
team
a-
as
just
a
a tiny
5th
pour
year
here, buddy.
senior. And
That's good, buddy. That's good. Thank you. No, buddy. Jeez.
This is
It's a podcast where you...
hold on. This is only 90 proof.
Yeah, you're good.
This is
Let's try it.
just a little warm up. So I played Colin Kaepernick in practice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's look the stats up real quick for that game.
Buddy, this is too big of a pour.
Hey, can I offer this?
Yeah.
You think J.J. McCarthy could be a Brock Purdy?
Yes.
Because isn't that the Brock Purdy story? I mean, a guy that really...
I think he's going to get drafted higher than Brock Purdy.
Well, that's my whole point, though. So, okay, we're saying that McCarthy's not a great quarterback.
You're
right now.
asking who's going to
I'm
have the
not
better
saying he's
career?
not- I'm not saying he's a
Yeah.
bad quarterback.
Yeah,
I think Brock Purdy's going to have the better career because
It
of
depends.
who he's surrounded
It depends
with.
on where JJ goes.
yeah.
If Brock Purdy went to Carolina, he would flounder. If Brock Purdy
He might be out
went-
of a job.
Yeah, if Brock Purdy went to Chicago, he would flounder. If he went to Green Bay, maybe. The problem
Hey,
right now in any
If
league,
Tom Brady had not landed in New England,
yeah, he might not be. The
Think about that, though. That's fair.
my whole take on this is if if J.J. McCarthy lands, and I think I'm just reiterating what you said, if J.J. McCarthy lands in the right system, he's going to be a great, serviceable QB in the NFL. Do I think he's Tom Brady? No. I mean,
the Lions should draft him.
What about Patriots?
Who, JJ?
Yeah.
What about Patriots? Would he thrive under Belichick?
No.
Belichick's leaving.
I think he's gone.
He's gone too?
Yeah.
I think Belichick's leaving.
Lots of rumors of that.
All right, interesting. Interesting what we think here about the whole era of college football, quarterbacks, the NFL, Jim Harbaugh. Has he coached, I should say, on Monday night, his last game as head coach of the Michigan Wolverines? It's going to be interesting to find out. If they lose, I don't know. If they win, I could see that more and more, right? He wins the national championship and he sings his swan song, and it's not going to get better than that.
Yep.
Right? Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
I like how he was asked like a series of questions the other night after the game, and he ignored all of them. And he's like, "Oh, who's got it better than us?" And then his parents said it again. Nobody. Nobody's got it better than them. All right, let's switch topics here before we make our final predictions because we're 50 minutes.
Colin Kaepernick, 12 for 23, 149 yards
Against
and 2
you?
interceptions against Notre Dame.
Wow.
When I was there. And I tore our defense up that week. Defensive coordinator came to me and goes, "You played better than their quarterback did."
So, can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
The local kid, he was pivotal, Marcus Freeman said this year. Chase Ketterer, in some of their scout team prep. When you're looking at the week and how it goes, how big, Evan, is that scout team prep? I've had that question in my mind.
It depends on what the defensive coordinator and their staff allows the scout team to do.
Like I've heard it's big in Navy Week.
Yeah. It's just unique. You need a guy that can run the triple option. I wasn't going to be doing that. What I mean by that is in practice, so much is scripted. So if you're the offense and you're going against a scout team defense, they script, here's what your coverage is in your blitz scheme based on, all the film that has been watched and scouting reports. And if you do something that is not planned, it does not go well usually with the coaching staff. Now, as a fifth-year senior, when I was running that scout team, my level of fucks that I gave was very low. Very low. And I recall a lot of times pissing off our defensive coaches because we stand in the huddle and we look around at a sheet that shows us what we're supposed to do. And it's usually then designed to run right into whatever the defense is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to the guy who was coordinating our scout team, and I was like, can I just read these plays out based on the coverage I see versus throwing to the guy that you're circling to me?
Mm-hmm.
He's in double coverage because they know what's coming. We're like, well, that's usually where he throws it. I'm like, that's not how it works on the offensive side. You mean to tell me that Colin Kaepernick or Andrew Luck is going to go out there and he's throwing to that same route every single time? No. Now, is there a higher percentage? Maybe. But if there's two dudes there, I'm throwing over here. And so that's how we ran it. So, I answer that question basically saying it comes down to how much is allowed for you to actually go out there and play football versus just reading off a card. You will give the defense a much better look if you're able to read it through and you're able to make alerts or audibles at the line of scrimmage, because that's how football is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've had that question in the back of my mind. I'm glad you brought that up with Colin Kaepernick. All right, let's switch gears here before we wrap up the show because we're about 50-plus minutes in here. We usually keep it to like 55 to a minute 5. We're having a good time here.
Yeah,
so.
Get some nice bourbon.
So, by the way, if you want to catch this show, we have a Facebook page. We newly launched it. We have a website. We newly launched it. And you can pick up some of our swag. Aaron, can you turn your head around so people can see? Oh, yeah, it's around. Nice. This new, 40 new era?
Yeah.
It's a new era cap 49.
Super comfy, man.
Pick it up at Varsity Brews podcast.com and support the podcast. Speaking of, big thanks to Westwind Brewery Evan, Aaron, I should say. Evan is a co-owner now. No,
AKA Mega.
Mega.
He's got a new nickname.
Megatron.
We call him Mega.
And a big shout out to Gabe at Rustic Rocks. He does some fantastic work. If you're in the market for somebody to come and do a makeover in your backyard, he does it with boulders. Okay, I mean, like I've seen him physically pick up these things and move them. It's incredible what he can do with a blank palette. All right. So speaking of blank palette, it's not blank anymore because I had beers before this. But what we've got here is our finest glass. Play like a champion today.
Nice.
What are you guys rocking with? Oh, I know you are. Guess what that is.
It's a latitude of, I'm going to guess somewhere.
Higgins Lake.
Oh, well, I have that in my basement.
Dude, that would be sick.
I have a sign of longitude, latitude. You must have seen that.
I figured. I don't
The
know.
sixth most beautiful lake in the
That
world.
was
Sixth
a
most
good
beautiful lake
guess.
in the world.
It's number one in
This
my
is
book.
good, man. Hey, Howard, nice.
Where do you think that is? Where do you think that is?
Scotland? Edinburgh, Scotland?
Come on, Evan. You've played there.
Played a lot of places.
Somewhere in California.
Come on,
South Bend,
guys.
Indiana?
Notre Dame Stadium.
Oh, I guess I should have known that.
Man,
Longitude.
Longitude, latitude of Notre Dame's.
Darn it.
You blew that, Evan.
Man.
If you have any eligibility left, you're definitely not going back.
What's wrong with this thing? God almighty. It's overheating.
That's right.
So, what do you think of this? This is some fantastic,
This is good.
smooth,
This is
Which is- are
the
we
little
having an
spice
iron
to
chip?
it.
Yeah, it is.
Little
yeah,
spice.
Yeah, man. I'm one of the first people to get this bottle. So we're going to barrel age Mr. Fluffles in this for next Christmas time. So we're getting a sneak peek. This thing, I don't even know if it's released yet. It literally just came out. It's one of the first bottles that came out. But yeah, Howard was kind enough to let me buy one of these from him. And so yeah, definitely check this out. But we're going to barrel age our Mr. Fluffles in this. I love the flavor. Rye, barley. Is what he used mainly in this, and
good.
yeah, it's super.
really
yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, it's tasty. I'm looking forward to. Yeah, cheers, boys. I'm looking forward to getting this barrel aged. I pick up the barrel and said, "Hey, can I take a bottle with me so I can share with my friends?" And
Nice.
always share your bourbon.
Always share your bourbon. Well, thank you so much. They always have good distilled liquor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
they're doing a great job up there.
Gin, they're what else they got? Vodka.
Yeah, yep. Little gin,
really
little
good.
vodka. Yeah, Howard started off originally in Colorado and worked his.
I love their
worked his way
food too,
back,
buddy.
Yeah, oh yeah, they got good eats up there, man.
Little
So-
Nile situation.
Yep, right in Niles. Good hamburger, great fries.
Never been
Good,
there.
good mixed drinks. You need to go. Date night
Nope.
for you and Julia. You
Yeah.
know, if you're up late
Bring me for
working
date
out or
night.
something.
All right.
Bring me for date night, Julia. I mix a garden hose and Stanley cups with hockey. I'll be a hoot on date night. And then we're rocking with the West Wind Brew. What are you doing right now? What are you rocking at West Wind right now?
Yeah, so just coming out of the holidays, I mean, we had a good holiday. We had lots of fun drinks. People are still sipping on the bourbon barrel-aged Genesis that we did, which is a Clyde-made Rye Reserve. That's fantastic. So we've got that coming up. Some fun projects. Working on our next sour. We've got that coming down. I don't even have a name for it yet.
I gotta urinate.
I'm sure I'll be inspired at some point to. Did he really just say that? There are no rules on this podcast, apparently.
We make
our own rules.
Damn rules.
But yeah, no, we've got some fun beers coming up. Going to do another barrel age project. I'm working on possibly getting a Buffalo Trace barrel as well.
Nice, buddy.
So yeah, our barrel age. You know, we're a small microbrewery, doing small project stuff, and got some fun stuff coming down the pipeline. A few new seltzers that's kind of our niche. So thinking on some new flavors that
Nice.
will come up near, but it's super exciting. So.
Nice, buddy. Congratulations on all
absolutely.
the success, too. I mean, it's
A lot of work, a lot of hard,
work.
yeah, a lot of work. Getting up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, brewing beer
Listen,
for people to enjoy.
Look right in this damn camera. Get yourself to West Wind Brewery, okay? He's got great stuff. The food is, bro, it's good. It's
Thanks,
very,
bro,
very
man.
good.
Best pretzel in the state, man.
And it's, listen, he's won blue ribbons.
Yeah, we got
Where are you going for beer in South Bend, Mishawaka, Elkhart? Nowhere. Go to West Wind Brewery. They've got the best beer in this area. And I know Evan agrees with that statement after just hitting the pisser.
Welcome back, Evan.
I agree.
I actually just called the timeout. I only had one left.
Oh, 30 seconds?
That's a
30
30-second.
30-second timeout.
That's a 30-second timeout. All right. Next drink
Next drink. Let's go.
is the Anook. Anook. This is aged 18 fine years.
I will, as courtesy host today. I
So
will
this
pour
was
you first.
so
You
so
say
okay. That's
when.
good. Yeah.
That's
Buddy,
good?
buddy.
Okay.
Sorry. This is Scotch here.
That's all right.
Woo!
What are the
All right, so
stats on this one?
here's the story. Okay.
Oh, you gotta go.
Yeah, I go.
Here's
I'll
the
pour
story.
from you.
So
Oh, you gonna pour from me? Thanks.
So we went.
Well, let me give him the last swig. Okay.
Heather and I,
Right.
and actually our son, went on this tour.
That's good, buddy.
Whiskey tour, the same place that you went to, buddy. It's the Scotch Whiskey Tour
Yeah.
in Edinburgh, right by the castle.
How crazy is that way that happened?
And they take it. We just did the family tour because
Yeah.
we had 10-year-old with us, so we
Yep.
can't do the regular tour. But
Sure.
at least we can get in and do
Yep.
learn how it's made and blah 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 blah. I think I sent you guys some stats about how much Scotch is actually lost in the making process. Do you find that with beer, by the way? Hold on, buddy. Yeah, it's being finicky. There you go. Do you find that in the beer making process that some evaporates, so you lose some?
Ours isn't more evaporation; it's more in the transfer process. But yeah, you definitely
Okay.
when you brew it, you lose a little at the end. When you move it into your first fermenter to ferment, you're losing some. When you transfer it into a bright tank to clean up, and yeah, you're always losing some. So you got to build that into your costs and other things.
It's crazy. So they said like 40% after like 15 years you're losing. I mean, that's nuts.
You think about the lost profits.
Lost profit. So that's why some of this whiskey is at a higher price. So this is going to be around 110, 115 pounds. So you're looking at like $150 for the Anook. But a small distillery in the Highlands. So that was interesting too, learning about the different areas that Scotch and Scotch whiskey is made in and how long it has to distill. 3 years for it to be considered a Scotch. So this is one of the ones that I tried. So my wife tried the one from it's like a flowery region. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, this is from the Highlands, so it's going to have some of those notes. Little stronger. That was 10 years. I went on a limb and got the 18-year
Ballin'.
when I left because I'm like, fuck it. I mean, I'm only here once in Scotland, so we're going to do it up. So this is fresh off the whiskey tasting
From 18 years ago.
from 18 years ago. All right, guys,
All
cheers.
right, cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
Got
How
a
does
little-
it smell? Give us the breakdown of how it
Hey,
smells.
thank you for sharing this,
Hey,
by the way. This is
always share your
I got a
drink.
nice healthy pour here.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, boy.
But it's really
It's
good.
peaty.
It is peaty, isn't it? Do you like peat?
I don't.
I like peaty.
It's pretty good. You know,
But it is not overwhelming.
it's not. It's
It's
smooth.
pretty good, yeah.
It's a smooth go down. That's why I've stayed away from Scotch.
I don't drink
Is
a lot
the
of
peaty-
scotch
is the
because of that.
peatiness.
Yeah.
This tasting opened my entire circle and my eyeballs on Scotch. How to enjoy it and just kind of relax and hey,
This is fantastic.
what do you think, buddy?
I think it's fantastic. I'm going to give a little side story, quick 30-second side story. So Audrey's mom never drank scotch, but when she went over to Jim, who's my father-in-law's house, her dad always made him pour scotch. She hated scotch. She hated the peaty in it,
Yep.
and she come to love it. I will tell you this is good scotch.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to appreciate scotch.
Yeah.
Scotch is not something you just like, you know,
Swig back and
swig back, and you're like, you've got to learn to appreciate the different styles, and obviously when you go from double pre-mist to this,
18-year-old Scotch.
yeah, it's but no, I love
We've
it.
hit some levels today.
Yeah, we have. This is fantastic.
Cheers, boys.
Super yummy.
Cheers. The Varsity Brews podcast.
Cheers.
In your ears right here. And for the first time live on YouTube.
Love it.
This is a sign of things to come here. I guess this is season 4 now. I think we're in season 4. This is the
Four?
first episode
Yeah.
of season 4.
Still picking up.
So, hey, thanks to everybody who's stayed with us for 3 years. If you want to support the podcast, pick up a sticker, pick up a hat, pick up a Varsity Brews podcast jersey. How did we do on the jersey?
Looks good.
Yeah,
It's
they're
okay.
cool.
For the first selection, they're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
They kind of mess with the colors. and
1.0.
turn it- Yeah. Hey,
I like
1.0.
I like them.
Um,
Gonna do our pickups.
we're going to do our picks.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. You're up. Michigan, Washington. The line is Michigan, I believe,
4.5.
by 4.5. Monday night, who you got?
Am I starting?
Yep.
Michigan 27-23.
Ooh. Last second comeback?
I think it's going to be a little back and forth.
Okay.
But, I think Michigan's going to do what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
My worry would be, as I said earlier, is if it gets into a shootout. If it goes over 30-35, I just don't know if – and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Michigan is going to stick to what they've done all year, and that's ball control and play action pass. And their defense has to get Washington off the field on third down.
This is your team, so I'll let you pick last.
Okay, fair.
Just I want to give you the final word.
What's he going to do here?
I've been thinking about this.
Should we do a drum roll?
I have been picking against. I wish I had a hat from your boy Lee Corso.
Yeah, you could be a Lee Corso.
Yeah, special pick. I've been picking against Michigan all season long, and it's because of my lack of confidence.
Yeah, just don't change now.
Keep doing it.
My lack of confidence with J.J. McCarthy, and I'm going to tell you again, I'm going to pick against him
I
once.
knew it.
Again, buddy. Because I know if I change now, that's going to be the kiss of death.
Yeah.
You know it. I was rooting for Michigan to come out of the Big Ten and do this thing. And I'm still in this game. Even though Penix has Indiana ties and it would be cool to see him win a championship, I have no ties to Washington Huskies whatsoever. Go blue here. But I do think that Penix is going to have a big day. I think he's going to throw for over 400 yards.
Wow. Oh, man.
I don't think Michigan has faced a quarterback like this all year.
How much scotch have you had?
Hey, but
it's going down fast, buddy.
But has Washington played a defense as good as Michigan?
No, they have not. But I think Texas was pretty damn close.
Yeah, they were good.
And I think Oregon was a high-flying offense, and they were able to sustain and contain that offense twice.
Mm-hmm.
Once at home, once in a neutral site. I don't think they're going to let up more than 20 points in this game.
Ooh.
Wow.
I like Washington 30-20 final score over Michigan to win the championship, to send your Harbaugh off to the NFL. All right, buddy.
Jeez, man, daggers getting thrown. All right, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Brian Kelly. That's a dagger.
If I've been saying it from day one to day two to
Here
two
we
podcasts ago, I said two teams
The
will be
bums
in the
will
national.
always
go back
lose.
and listen to the
The
podcast.
bums will always lose, Lebowski.
Michigan and Washington. I've been saying it because I thought those two teams were, as we went down the pipeline. I do believe Michigan's going to prevail and win in this game. I believe it's going to have to happen in the run game. I do believe that this will be the best defense that Washington has seen. So you got a high-powered offense, great receivers. Penix is a stud. He's worked in that program very, very well. I think Michigan's going to prevail here. I'm going to call 31-28. So it's going to be still high scoring. I think Michigan's going to struggle out of the gate. We might have to come back in this game a little bit. I think if it gets in that the long bomb throw from Penix and he's throwing the football all over the place, Michigan's going to struggle with that. But I think we tone it down. I think the defense is going to prevail. I think we're going to get late in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, and we're going to run the football. And in the end, it's going to be 31-28. Here's my proclamation. I told you earlier in the podcast that I would say, if they win the national championship, I believe that Harbaugh is gone.
And if they don't?
And if they don't, I'm going to make the proclamation say, nah, he's going to stay. Listen, everybody thinks he's leaving, but if you look back on Harbaugh originally came here, he wanted to do one thing. He wanted to restore the glory of Michigan football.
He did that.
I think he has done it. He's won 3 years in a row, right? I mean, we've been Big Ten champions.
He's 100% done that.
I mean, you look at where we were at with Rich Rod and all these others. He is turning the tides. He's brought us back to glory. That Alabama versus Michigan win will go down in probably the top 5, maybe 3 wins in Michigan history of football, and people are always going to remember it. It had the most views on television, 32.8 million viewers at one point.
I still
watching
think
that
being
game.
Ohio State
But yeah, we beat
is.
Yeah, we beat Ohio State 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Where you at, Lou?
Yeah, where you at, Lou Holtz? So I'm calling Big Blue 38.
Brian Kelly's going to go coach at Ohio State. Let's just throw that one out there.
Fuck me. Sorry. Beep. This is a family show.
So that's my prediction. Go
Yeah.
Blue.
All right, buddy. Well, that's a good take from a diehard Michigan fan. Of course. I mean, you're going to pick your blue. That's good. I'm glad. Because if you don't pick your blue, Evan, I like your pick. I'm a little scared about JJ in big moments.
Hey, remember the hat. Just wear the hat, buddy.
I'll wear the hat.
Michigan versus everybody.
I'll wear the hat, buddy.
I'll wear the hat. Take a picture and text it to me.
Where are you watching the game, by the way?
I don't know. We could do it at the bar. You want to come over?
Where are you at?
I don't
Traveling?
know. I don't know. What day is it?
Kenny
Monday?
Tar-
I'll come
Tarmac
to the
over here.
bar. I mean, it's a national championship.
National
maybe.
championship. We always host. There's Monday Night Football. We have Monday Night Football on one and National Championship on the other.
Sounds good. All right. Well, this has been the Varsity Brews podcast. Go blue,
Go
no matter
blue.
what I picked.
Yeah.
Oh, you're empty here, buddy. We're going to fill you up.
Pete,
Make sure you watch on Spotify. Watch on YouTube, but listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Of course, you can find all the merch on www.varsitybrewspodcast.com. And we'll catch you in the next one next week. Thanks for joining us here